What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the politics and BS. Well, it's been a minute since I talked about Fani and this effort to have her removed from the Trump Georgia elections interference case, and I didn't follow all of the details of the trials just simply because, one, I had a lot going on, and two, I didn't really care that much to get into every single detail of all of the testimonies of the people who were getting up there, because to be honest, what I thought was going to happen actually happened, and that is she is going to be able to stay on the case. She just can't be on it with her former lover. So the Washington Post has reported the judge overseeing the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump and his allies rejected an effort to disqualify Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis from the case over a romantic relationship she had with the lead prosecutor she appointed. In a 23-page ruling issued Friday, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee wrote that defendants failed to meet their burden in proving Willis's relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade was a conflict of interest enough to merit her removal from the case. But the judge also found an appearance of impropriety and said either Willis and her office must fully leave the case or Wade must withdraw from the proceeding. So basically, the judge was saying, look, you two, these two, they can't stay on it together. So if they want Wade to be a part of it, then Willis and the office that she is working in and submitted to would have to fully leave the case. And we know that wasn't going to happen, right? So anyway, the story continues. McAfee's order is a significant legal victory for Willis, who maintains control of the historic criminal case against the former president and his allies that she began investigating more than 3 years ago. But the tawdry diversion has come at a personal and professional cost to Willis, as embarrassing details of her personal life and romantic relationships have come under scrutiny inside the same courtroom where she had hoped to put Trump and his co-defendants on trial this August. She says, you think I'm on trial? These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. And she declared that during her February 15th appearance on the witness stand, where she was questioned about the allegations. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial. But even allies of Willis fear the case against Trump could be irreparably damaged, with Willis's actions having undermined public confidence in the prosecution. And the tawdry claims against Willis are unlikely to go away. And they're not. Especially in the public realm, where she has already faced political attacks from Trump and his supporters, racist criticism and threats from those opposed to her prosecution of the former president. On Wednesday, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signed legislation creating a state panel to investigate and potentially punish, quote, rogue local prosecutors. While Kemp spoke of it as an attempt to combat violent crime, Republican lawmakers have already indicated they plan to investigate Willis. A separate Georgia Senate committee already has launched its own hearings into the allegations against Willis and Wade, the lead prosecutor, issuing a subpoena for records and hearing a testimony from the lawyer who first raised the claims. McAfee's decision comes more than 2 months after Mike Roman, one of the former president's co-defendants who worked on Trump's 2020 campaign, claimed in a court filing that Willis and Wade had been involved in an improper, clandestine, personal relationship that has financially benefited them both. The judge's decision on Willis is almost certain to fuel political attacks in a year where he, Willis, and Trump are all on the ballot. McAfee, who was appointed to the bench in 2022 by Kemp, last week drew 2 challengers as he seeks a full judicial term. McAfee seemed to anticipate the attacks. Before he made his decision public, the judge sought to make clear that his ruling wasn't driven by political pressure, revealing in a local radio interview last week that he had prepared a rough draft of his decision before I ever heard a rumor that someone wanted to run for this position. So the result is not going to change because of politics, McAfee told the Shelley Winters show. I am calling it as best I can and the law as I understand it. No job is worth my integrity, he added. Well, listen, the story actually is a lot longer. I just didn't read all of it, so I cut some of it out. But listen, I didn't expect him to remove her from the case, but I did expect that the both of them were not going to continue to work on it together. And from what I had understood, I believe that he wasn't really going to be working on it after these things had come out and been revealed. But at any rate, the tick just was not worth the stress, because her even treading down this territory of prosecuting 45 and his comrades was already going to bring some implications to her life that were going to be less than favorable, very uncomfortable, just all in all, pretty much a life-changing situation. So to add on top of that, all of this extra drama that was just so unneeded and unnecessary, unfortunately, I'm not saying that it's right, but this is why when I do talk about politics on my platform, and the playlist for this content is called Politics and BS, because politics really is BS. It just is what they have made it to be. It could involve, or they could talk about things that have absolutely nothing to do with it. You know, it could be just like this situation, whether she had an affair with the lead prosecutor or whatever. Look, I'm not saying ethically it was right, but ultimately, what does that have to do with crimes that were committed with him, 45, or anybody? Like, seriously, right? So that's the thing. It's always going to be something with this guy where it's going to be about calling other people whatever when it has nothing to do with what is really going on, the issues at hand in the situation, the crimes that were alleged that are at hand. What does her screwing the lead prosecutor have anything to do with what these people did? I'm not judge or jury, obviously, but honestly, like, what does that have to do with these people? But because of who it is, you already know that they're going to play dirty. Politics is dirty. And this man is not going down without a fight. As old and decrepit and unhealthy and unwise and whatever he is, he's almost in his 80s. He's still calling people names like he's a child. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So, like, she said her life has been completely disturbed so much since she has taken the charge on to prosecute this man. And so to add on top of that something that they could bring to the forefront that has really nothing to do with the alleged crimes, but they're going to try to call it into question to come up with a reason as to why all of these charges should be dismissed, right? And it just wasn't worth it, especially when her words came back to bite her from years ago, saying that a DA shouldn't be, you know, having sex with subordinates and all other stuff like that. And it's like, well, girl, what were you doing? You know, it's just crazy. You just don't give people the ammunition to try to take you out. And that's exactly what she was doing. Even though, like most people believe, and like I said, what she was doing with the lead prosecutor really doesn't have anything to do with the alleged crimes that were committed. But yet and still, they're going to try to make it about that. They're going to try to make it seem like, oh, well, you're a Democrat. You're trying to take down 45 because he's a Republican, and you want to make sure that this, you know, man is stopped. And it's just crazy, you know? But anyway, like I said, and like they have reported, she can stay on, and Wade, he has to step aside, stand back and stand by, to use 45's words. Okay. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section, guys. Thanks so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.